Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Welcome to another exciting episode of the EntreMusician. This is indeed the space where we concentrate on the mindset, the discipline, and the focus of the EntreMusician. Today's episode, absolutely no exception, because today we will conclude our conversation on understanding the importance of your unique artistry. Although I should say more correctly that we're going to put the matter on pause for just a moment or two because we need to resume our regularly scheduled interviews. But I'm telling you, the more that I've been thinking about this particular subject, there is so much more to it. So one day we are going to pick it back up. Now, you may recall that we began the first episode with our intention firmly on mindset. And on the second episode last week, we focused in on how you should clearly, visibly see into your unique artistry. And hopefully we help you to view yourself and to view your work with a sharper eye than you may have done before. We were making the central point that because you have been positioned to be both the gift and the giver, because you are a vessel, a conduit simultaneously, you must view your gift with which you have been given as an element that's beyond precious, beyond glorious even. And you've been entrusted to share this gift with the world. Now, today, our goal is to drill deeper and to peer into the accountability aspect of understanding your gift. And in order to do this properly, I'm going to need to use an example from Scripture. Now, most of you understand that as you listen to these conversations, I usually lead with my faith because my faith is my foundation. There are several other times where I lead from the perspective of just being a man or a black man or a husband, a father, a drummer, a producer, a songwriter, a brother and uncle. You dig it. Because I am all of these things, right? And so I tend to use whichever component is going to offer the best analogy. And today I'm going to use Scripture because it's going to hit home the lesson I'm trying to convey. So in the New Testament in Matthew 25, Jesus tells a parable of a wealthy landowner who gives his talents to 3 of his employees. Okay? To one, he gives 5 talents. To another, he gives 2. And to the third person, he gives just 1 talent. But the Scripture highlights that he gives these particular talents to the employees according to their abilities. In other words, the employer already knew what they could handle, so he gave the talents out accordingly. Now, before we move forward, I've heard many people teach on this parable, and the talents are actually money in this parable, cash money. Right? Whether it's $1, $3, $5. But there are some who teach that the talents may not have been money, but an area of responsibility entrusted to them. And of course, that can apply as well. But for our purposes today, and because it is a parable, we're going to surmise that these talents are actual creative talents, creative gifts. Okay? All right? And we're EntreMusicians, so we can do that. So 1 got 5, 1 received 2, and the third received just 1, again, according to their abilities. Then the employer left. No instructions, no words. But the text says, immediately, the first person with the 5, he went and did so good with his talents that he acquired 5 more. Likewise, the second person, he took his 2 talents. He did so well that he received 2 more. But the fellow with the 1, he went and dug a hole in the ground and he buried his talent. Soon enough, the employer comes back, right? The first employee meets him at the door and he provides a report that says, look, you gave me 5 talents. I doubled it, and I made 5 more. And of course, this delighted the employer. So he gave the employee a promotion. Hearing that, the second employee came and said, yo, I did the same thing. You gave me 2 talents. I doubled those. Now I have 4. Incredible news. You get a promotion too. There's excitement in the air. Until this third dude walks in, dirt all over his clothes and his hands, having had to dig up his talent. He presents the muddy thing to his boss, and he says some incredible things like, you know what, boss, I'm not too cool with you. You're a hard man to work for. So I was afraid, and I hid your talent in the ground. Now you can imagine the look on the boss's face, right? You mean you did nothing with what I gave you? You didn't even try to earn interest with it? You didn't try to sharpen your skills and grow? Nah. Here's your talent, man. Just the way you gave it to me. So his employer indeed was very unhappy, and he reprimanded him. And then he did something wild. He told the others who were staying in the room with him, he said, take the talent from that one goofball and give it to the guy who has 10 talents. Now that means he now has 11. And of course, everybody was tripping on that. What? The dude already has 10? And the employer makes this statement. He says, for to everyone who has, more will be given, and that person will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Now that, my friend, is an incredible statement. Don't you agree? I do. It's like, okay, the story is incredible, but that statement is like, boom. You know why? Because oftentimes, left to our own thinking, you and I are inclined to believe that life should be fair. Listen to that word, because we hear it a lot. We say it a lot. If someone has more than someone else, whether or not they were born with it or worked for it or otherwise earned it, if it's more than he has or she has or you have or I have, it's not fair. When the truth of the matter is, everyone has been given something. Everyone has been blessed with a talent of some kind, which will help them grow and prosper in life. Now, obviously, there are exceptions, right? There are always exceptions, but those are far and few between. They're rare, especially if you live in a free country like the United States and you don't have a massive physical or mental deficiency. The average Jack and Jill have at least one thing that they can do well. Some have 2, some have 5, but everyone has at least one. And that becomes the question for today. My friend, what are you doing with your one? What excuses are you making for not using yours? Why is it that you would take your God-given talent and you would bury it? You must understand that there's an expectation, a return on the investment in you. You must understand that you are accountable for the gift, for the talent in which you have been given. Now let's glance back at the story. A couple things I find interesting. I find it interesting that the employer, before he left, never gave instructions as to how to use the talent or when to use the talent or why the talents themselves needed to be used in the first place. Do you see where I'm getting at? The employer never explained. He never explained what he was expecting. But it was very clear that he was expecting that those talents would be put to good use. And it's interesting. The first 2 employees, boom, immediately, they get it, right? They get right to work. They take the initiative. They use what was given to them and they prosper themselves, right? They double it. They have the right attitude. They have the right personality, or at least they develop the right personality, the right people skills. They learn the language of the business. They prepare themselves and they go for it. But this last dude, he makes excuses. He himself says when asked that he was afraid, that he didn't appreciate his boss. He wasn't happy with his conditions. So instead of taking advantage of the one thing which could have completely changed the game for him, he buried it. I see this all the time, unfortunately. I do. Gifted musicians who, for whatever reason, they decide to bury their gift. They decide that the training or the hard work, the acts of preparation, rehearsals, whatever it is, conditions, it's not worth it. Then they often compare themselves with those who have more talents than they do, and they figure, well, what's the use anyway? They refuse to value the one thing that they've been given because it's only one thing to them. It doesn't matter if it's the right thing, if it's the single thing, if it's the best thing, the customized, exclusive thing designed especially for them thing, the thing that no one else on the planet has but them, that doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on inside their own head or their heart, the detrimental thing that is persuading them, discouraging them, and scaring them into stopping. Don't dream. Don't hope. Don't fight for it. Don't push. Just let it go. It's a mindset thing, friend. It's a heart thing. Now, my responsibility today is to convince you otherwise. My responsibility is to encourage you to hopefully redirect your thought process, if I may. Because it doesn't matter what you don't have. Use all that you do have. Get it done. You know, what you have is all you need. And what you need is exactly what you have. It is. That's what you begin with. So you use it. Use it. Cherish it. Own it. Tweak it if you need to. Invest it, of course. Double it. Grow it. Nurture it. Prosper it. And while you're doing so, you'll find that you're going to prosper others around you because God has entrusted you to do this. And God is coming back. He's coming back and he's expecting a return on his investment in you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this parable. I do. I want you to chew on it. I want you to meditate on its implications. And it doesn't matter. Even if you're listening to this and you're going, well, you know what? I'm the guy with 5. I'm doing what I can. But let me tell you, brother, sister, let me say something to you. There's always more. There's always more capacity to receive, and there's always more opportunities to give. So be like that river, that lake, that stream that's always flowing, providing fresh water to those who need it, because we need your unique gift. We need it. That's why I'm here to share this with you today. And as I said before, there's so much more. There's so many other dynamics into understanding your unique artist. You can best bet that we will be back again at some point, my friend. And when we do, we're going to pick up where we left off. But in the coming weeks, we do have some great material for you, some wonderful interviews, and some of our other EntreMusicians are coming to the podcast to share their hearts with you as well. I'm so grateful to be doing this. I'm so grateful for the EntreMusician community. I want to invite you in, actually. If you haven't come in to kick the tires, why don't you schedule a call with me? Let's get together. Let's do this. Again, anyone can join, but we specifically rock with those who are ages 50 and over. So if that's you and you know you need community, you value sound coaching, and you're looking for a true collaboration, the EntreMusician is your place. So I want you to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this information with others. I appreciate you so very, very much. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, but as I say to you all the time, so are you. We will see you again, my friend. God bless.